Okay, this is a little bit of personal information, but this was when I was like genuinely considering quitting streaming. And this was, I think, the first fun, non-Gaza related stream that we did post October 7. And I literally was like, I think I probably should just quit streaming. I should go back to college. I should, pursue a PhD.
I'm sorry.
Maybe I'll become like a college professor or something. Because it was so much every fucking day, day in, day out. People were just like, you're a fucking terrorist. You're a fucking terrorist. You're a terrorist. No allies. No one in the space. None of my Twitch streamer friends were, or none of the content creators in the space wanted to touch the issue of Israel with a 10 foot fucking pole because they were so worried about being attacked. They saw the way that like mercilessly people were like ripping into me, calling me a fucking terrorist, even doing like
It's just crazy how much he could make up everything, right? Who the fuck was attacking you for being pro-Palestine day one? Like, was it 6 days after that Al Ali hospital story was basically fabricated out of thin air, where people pretended that Israel J-dammed a hospital and murdered 500 people, like on day, I think it was like, I should remember this, but I feel like it was like day 6 or 7 of the war. Like Israel had already lost the propaganda war. Oh my God.
Unbelievable amounts of unrestrained Islamophobia. I mean,
Islamophobia? Hasan Piker, really? Islamophobia, dog?
it's the same now too with mainstream media, but it doesn't fucking matter anymore because the public is on my side. It doesn't matter. But
the public, you mean all your lefty content creator friends?
At that point, this is January 30th, 2024. There wasn't a lot of people who were like, yeah, Israel kind of sucks. Everyone was like beginning to learn about how much Israel sucked, but they were not there yet. And, you know, my community...
Nobody knew about it before Hasan started talking about it, true.
Community had been severed almost in half. You know, a third left. Went from like 30,000 to barely cracking. We were like sub 20K on a day-to-day basis. So many content creators were just eating so good off of like every other week. Every other week there would be another incident, another horrifying atrocity that I was trying to shine a light to. And anytime I spoke out on it, people would just do video after video after video with like millions of fucking views being like, he's a terrorist.
What is he? Which videos are we talking about? We just like are completely fabricating like everything? What is he? I don't think people started making videos about him until like when I feel like the Willie Mack one was probably the first like big one about how unhinged Hasan's coverage was. What was the year? What was the date for that one? They debated on November 14th, 2023. Okay, maybe Willie Mack made it early on. Wait. Yeah, October 7th, 2023 was the thing. Okay. I suck with my months. November is the 11th one, right? But I know Willie Mack did. A few other people. Okay, then it was around this time, I guess. That timeline is correct. But like, nobody has attacked Hasan just for defending Palestinians. It's because of the most unhinged, insane things that he says about just crazy. Like, nobody is ever making you have to support the fucking Houthis, like hijacking civilian ships. I feel like that one Nimpalol stream accelerated a lot, but that was later. Yeah, after that, I think a lot of people, that is true. After that one, people started covering it. I don't remember the timeline, I guess, as well. Hasan, fuck, I don't even know what I would look up for this. After that, there were definitely videos that were popping up, but that was like crazy. Like, nobody is making you watch terrorist videos and support terrorists, which he's doing. That is what you're doing, right? You played like Houthi recruitment videos. I don't know.
Look at how much of a fucking terrorist he is, primarily in the West. And I was like, these people are sacrificing their lives. It's nothing. Like, feeling shitty and being called a terrorist every day is nothing. People leaving and misunderstanding what I am trying to explain to people is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, right? I have unbelievable privilege. I can just like push through it. So I'm not, presenting myself as a victim at all. I'm just saying mentally I was there. I remember.
Wasn't it slowly after this? Oh, the Hasan leftovers thing. I feel like there weren't many spaces that were supporting Ethan that much on this. But I don't know if many spaces had started picking up like Israel-Palestine as like their single unifying cause at all yet. On October, this was like a week after October 7th. Like, I don't know if this was a thing that was mobilizing everybody across the internet quite yet at this point. I do know that I did have the feeling about a year in that it was my subreddit and Ethan's subreddit were the only two places where you could be a liberal but not also want like the destruction of Israel and all Jews. And like still be like in welcome company. That aside from that, like every other place, like a year later, was 100% like you have to be pro complete eradication of Israel and everybody there, and it has to be a single state for Arabs. But I feel like that was about it. I don't remember. I don't know the dates exactly, I guess.
Remember, I was so close. I was like, I fucking hate all this shit. I have no friends in this industry. I have no one that will stand by me. All of these other people are like saying I'm Osama bin Laden. They're playing fucking games comparing me to Osama bin Laden. Like some of the top content creators were doing that, and not a single one of the people I know, the people I've like, you know, grown up with in this fucking in this dark corner of the internet, not a single one of them was like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. That's kind of fucked up. Why are you doing that? That's a little racist, don't you think?
Racist? Like it's the weakest, dude. My brain has been getting fried the past week. Okay, I'm trying my best to hold on, but I didn't think that like I already thought that politics sucked 10 years ago when I got into it. And it was all just kind of like ad homs and screaming and everything. But this like fracturing, this like bifurcation of realities into all of these different places where you just go and you just kind of preach to your choir and you rewrite history over and over and over again. Like, does anybody remember one of the big things that was going on when the Bin Laden talk was happening? It was a whole bunch of fucking kids on TikTok that were discovering like Bin Laden's letters to America and then being like, oh, I don't know, this is kind of based. I think Denims might have even done a reading. And then I'm always kind of an outsider no matter what, I guess, just because of my demeanor and everything. But like, I'm starting to feel like I'm the only person in this space that's not getting paid by like some foreign or weird domestic entity. I talked with Lauren Southern a lot when she was going through her kind of like Tenet thing. And I think I've mentioned this before. I felt kind of bad because initially we were just like kind of talking like career advice stuff. And when I was running through that channel, like I felt like she was basically carrying the Tenet channel. And then the amount of money that she was getting paid was not anywhere near as much as I would expect for like a startup thing that wanted original content and documentaries and shit. Like that, there was no way. And I was like telling her, like, you got to push for way more. You should be getting like at least like 2 or 3x like what they're paying you. And then the indictment dropped. But I remember a lot of what she was saying was she was starting to feel kind of crazy because she felt like whereas before it was like a bunch of people that seemed like kind of maybe radicalized, but like radicalized and dedicated to a cause. Now it seemed like a whole bunch of people were getting controlled by other people, and it just started to feel like very weird and not organic. And that's how I don't know. Everything is like so strange. Jesus.
Not even a little bit, right? And then I did this, and we did the stream, and a lot of people tuned in, and you know, we fundraised what, 30 grand in the.
And before Vosh says you stole this talking point, unironically true. It wouldn't surprise me if Vosh actually felt similarly. I don't think Vosh is. I think Vosh is actually his own. I think him and I are similar demeanor-wise. I think he probably is his own thing, and he doesn't get paid by any weirdo fucking foreign entities or whatever.
And then I did this, and we did the stream, and a lot of people tuned in, and you know, we fundraised what, 30 grand in the entire 2-hour stream or like hour-long stream. And you know, that's when I was reminded that we do actually have an incredible impact.
I don't think Loanerbox is either.
An incredible impact that like we are capable of making, you know, changes, albeit marginal. That was my thread of hope. A thread of hope that we can weave together for a better future. If we
Vosh had claimed you've been paid by Israel. Well, Vosh can have his ordinary fucking faults, whatever. Fucking people are. I just bring it out of people, okay? What do you want me to say? I bring it out of people. People are just dumber than you think, myself included. Well, I mean, like a little bit, kind of, sort of, but that's not really what's happening. There's like, it's kind of started to leak now. I feel a little bit less crazy. It actually does feel like really good. Having Hutch and kind of other people seeing how unbelievably unhinged and crazy, I shouldn't say unhinged and crazy, how coordinated and deliberate a lot of these spaces are behind the scenes. That Hasan is like also working with. Somebody made a post on my subreddit, and I'm so used to being what do you say, self-deprecating, not kind of, but also like downplaying bad stuff because I don't ever want to be seen as like a victim or whatever, that I think sometimes we might miss a little bit. Somebody made a really good Reddit post that in another world where either I'm more connected or this attack happened against like somebody else, like this would be like a front page that like this, everything related to these people is like has the makings of kind of a foreign, like a whole operation. Fuck, there was a really good post on my subreddit about this. Even if it wasn't like a foreign operation, even if it was all domestic, like that you have like the massive coordination behind the scenes. You've got your proliferation channels to disseminate misinformation. You've got your coordinated lies and rumors and myths that you tell. You've got multiple platforms. You've got astroturfed accounts. You've got like larger figures working behind the scenes, but not direct. Like every single thing is kind of there.